Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of the Love Speak podcast, where our goal is to get love right. I'm your host, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the baddest of the bad, Billy Badass Joe, and we are the Love Speak podcast. How you feeling this evening?
I'm feeling great. How about yourself?
You know, another fantastic day to be in love. What's today? Wednesday? Look, you
Hump
be like
day.
hump day, right? So that's a perfect day to talk about love. And tonight, man, we got a crazy one tonight. Tell me, tell me that you love me. Tell me if it ain't good enough for you, babe. Tell me. They should have had me in the group, but
They should have.
I had to go serve my country.
Salute.
I had some other things to do. But
Okay.
definitely, um, man, if y'all just joined us, please make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of the Love Speak podcast. And man, we got some good questions tonight because last show we talked about so many things last show. But one of the key things that we were discussing was being told that you are loved. Hearing somebody say it, somebody having to say to you, I love you, hearing those words and how it makes you feel, if it's important, if it's unimportant. So, you know what? We said we got to do a show about that. We have to investigate this thing and find out what is the significance of these three words. Short and sweet, short and simple, however you like it. But we're gonna go ahead and bring up our questions for this evening.
Why can't? Sorry, Earl. I can't see you. Your screen is in constant thinking mode.
You can't see me.
I haven't seen you since we started.
I can see you though.
I can see me too. Your screen is black with a thinking circle.
That's odd. Can
Yeah.
you hear me though? Can you hear me? Can you see yourself?
Yep. And I can hear you perfectly clear. And I can see the background for the Love Speak podcast.
Okay, can you see the questions?
Nope.
You can't even see the questions.
Not yet.
They up on the screen right now. So I know that our viewers can see everything. I'm not sure why
I
you
can.
can't see anything. But I know our viewers watching, they can damn sure see everything. Shout out to Josephus in the chat, turning up early. We appreciate you for pulling up.
Thank you.
Yeah, Josephus always clowning around, doing YouTube things throughout the network. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get you right so you can be able to see what is going on
Right.
because you can't see what's happening. So I want to get you to leave out
Okay. Then
and
come back
then come
in.
back in. Yeah.
Okay. See you in a
And
second.
yeah.
All right.
So while we waiting on Billy Badass Joe and the technical flow to get that together, what we gonna do, y'all, is because we know y'all can see these questions at home. Let us know what you think in the comment section about these questions. All right. We got you, baby.
You got me. I can see your face now.
There we go. All right. So now, Billy Badass Joe on the gram. Y'all go over there and follow her, like, share, do all that good stuff. Link in the description. Let's get into this tonight. Let's let the love speak. And these are our questions right here, y'all. We got, what does saying I love you mean to you? What does saying it mean to you? All right. Our second question we're going to go over tonight. Do you think saying I love you strengthens a relationship? Do you think it strengthens your relationship? Do you think that it strengthens any relationship?
Hmm.
Third, how does hearing it, how does hearing I love you make you feel when someone says it to you? How do you feel about it? How does it make you feel? Do it make you feel warm inside, tingly? You know, is it dull? Okay, well, all right. Love you back. Cool. Fourth, are there any situations where it is more meaningful to say I love you? You know, like where it might be not necessary to say it in this situation, but it might be required. You know, maybe if somebody on their deathbed, yeah, they might that might be one. That might be. I think they about to die. Let me tell them I love them. That
That
might
might
mean
be a
something.
major one.
That might mean something. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. They gonna die. They might forget that shit. But we talk about it. And fifth, but final, last but not least, is it more important to hear the words I love you or to see love in actions? And y'all know what we want y'all to do? We want y'all to tell us what you think in the chat and let your love speak in the comment section. So, what we're going to do is go ahead and get to this first question. What does saying I love you mean to you, Billy Badass Joe?
Okay. I mean, it's a universal phrase. I guess we'll start off by saying that. I think saying I love you is a gesture to impose on someone to try to make them understand how you feel about them inside. That's what I think it's about. I think saying you love someone is words that you utilize in order to try to impose on how they feel because you want them to feel a certain way. That's why you tell someone you love them.
What's that way? What's that way we want them to feel though? What is that?
Well, see, it really depends on the scenario and the person, okay? Because that phrase can be used as a term of endearment and be genuine and meaningful, but in the same breath, it can be used as manipulation.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess it really depends on the scenario, the person, the circumstances. I believe that it should be used for positivity. It should be used for reinforcement. It should be used for security and all of those things. But those things that I just listed above are the same reason why people say it to manipulate you sometimes.
That's right. That's right.
How about you? What are your thoughts about saying I love you?
Man, what does it mean to me? I'm cold hearted. You know what I'm saying? I'm cold blooded. uh, I love love. You know, I'm more of an action versus words person. You know, probably like I guess people would say that the socially nowadays I guess it's called toxic masculinity
Mhm.
because um because I understand that like people need to hear it. Like, you know, I tell my mother I love her all the time. When I talk to my family, you know, most of the time we uh formally end our conversations with a I love you. You know, um me and my wife, we say it every now and again, but it's not something that we don't practice using it like all the time. And we don't even, you know, we have a unique situation right now as far as like, you know, we're not with each other every day,
Right.
based on our life goals and things like that. So, but it's not like if I go a couple days, I'm tweaking like I need a I love you, you
Right.
know. But I do, that's just for me though. I think that generally I think that certain people do, you know, certain people need that reinforcement. They need to hear those words to be, like you were saying earlier, comfort,
Yeah.
to reassure them, that I guess that that love is still there.
Yeah.
And but I also, when I'm looking at trying to answer the question specifically, what it means to me, I don't know. Like, it's just, that's why I said I have to be, because to me love is more of the feelings and your actions.
Yeah.
Like because of your actions I feel loved.
I agree with you, but I don't want to get
You
too
know.
deep because then we're going to skip ahead to question 4, I believe it is.
Yeah, nah, we're gonna
You
take our
know?
time. We're gonna take our
Yeah.
time. But I think because I feel it, and it's just what it means to me right now.
Yeah.
What it means to me, it means to me like a feeling, like a feeling, but I need those actions to reinforce it because, people say shit all the time. And I always know, like, I always say this, like, if you are blessed enough to live long enough, somebody who has told you they love you is gonna hurt you.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Because
yes.
it's like only the people that you never have. I always say this too, but like all the time, in some of my other spaces online, that like the only people who have ever hurt me is people that I have loved.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never, once you show me you my enemy, like now, or if I even think that you my enemy, or you coming with some bullshit, then I'm going to position myself correctly, you know,
Right.
to maintain my guard or whatever I need to do, you
Yeah.
know. But when you extend love, and you treat people with respect and love, like,
Yep.
you know, that's the only way that, like, that they can actually now penetrate your guard, because you've let your guard down,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that only happens with people that we love, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't even equate it to like little minor situations. So that's kind of what it means to me. Just
Well,
just respect, mutual respect given, um compassion, um
mm-hmm.
uh what we call a balance,
Mm-hmm.
effective communication,
Mm-hmm.
um responsibility, accountability,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what it means to me, because those are the actions that I'm exemplifying,
I agree with
if
you.
I'm telling somebody I love you, you know.
Now, question: if you telling somebody that you love them, does that necessarily mean that you in love with them, or is that two separate things according to how you operate? I love you. I'm in love with you. Is that the same, or is that different? Or are we basing it on situational? Like how do you decipher?
Okay, well, see, like, I don't do that. I think that is like, when I was younger, that was a thing, because of course I done had my heart broken before, girl tell me, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, and it's like, that's some bullshit, you
Right.
know. Um, I don't subscribe to that. I
Okay.
think that's a sucker's way to cop out from just saying, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm done. I'm
Oh.
done with whatever it is that you're done with. Whatever you dislike
Uh-huh.
anymore, whatever you want to move on. That's just a coward's way of trying to, like, let you down easy type shit. But it's corny, like, to me, because it's no such thing as I love you, but I ain't in love with you. Like, no, you dislike something now that is a turnoff, or something that isn't pleasing to you anymore.
Right.
you know if that happens in relationships where people be casually having sex. So
Mm-hmm.
then a person be like, well, I love you, but I ain't really in love with you. No, you tired of smashing. The smash ain't giving you your thrill no more, like
It
it
was
was.
never love to begin with.
Right, it was never love to begin with.
Right.
It was just two people were smashing so much that now they're like, oh, I love you, oh, I love you, oh, I love you too, to be able to keep smashing. And neither one of them ever never really committing to each other, trying to learn each other, things that people do in a relationship, you know, to build. Cause it's easy. Like all we gotta do is like how each other look.
Right.
And that's a possibility that we could, go to bed together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't really subscribe to that. I think that's a cop out. I think that's a person's way of trying to get out of being able to have an adult conversation with somebody
Yeah.
and say to them the things that they dislike and the things that they no longer value about them or want to be dealing with them with, because that's ultimately what that is. Like
Right.
ultimately that's what it is. I think for a girl to tell a guy that automatically, it's something that she ain't feeling about him no more and she don't want to hurt his feelings.
Right.
For a guy to tell a girl that it's something that he ain't feeling no more about her and he don't want to hurt her feelings, or whatever the relationship looks like, whatever the gender is something that somebody's not being truthful.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't, and I think people do that too sometimes because they don't have the ability to communicate.
Hmm.
So they just go to the quick cheap sucker route,
Hmm.
like, well, I love you, but I ain't in love with you no more. Cause they
Hmm.
don't wanna, they don't feel like they wanna they don't feel like they wanna take the time explaining.
Hmm.
Shout out to Bubbling Brown pulling up in the chat. Bubbling Brown said they may be cheating.
All right. Before we address what Bubbling Brown saying, I want to touch on something that you just said, that if people haven't tapped into the episode before this one, you might want to, because we talked in correlation about lust and love in a relationship. And one of the things that you just stated was, is sometimes people like dislike certain things about each other over a course of time, and that may make you, impose on your feelings towards that individual. But or even down to just smashing somebody casually on a regular basis and then end up thinking that y'all in love. Like, it again, it needed to be deciphered from the beginning that love ain't lust, and a dislike for someone isn't a motive or ultimate reason to stop loving them. That's not a shot towards you. That's like for the world. Just because you dislike something about somebody didn't mean you stop loving them.
Yeah, yeah,
Now if it was never love, and now you're identifying that you just ain't feeling this person all the way around, it might have been lustful from the beginning, you just missed that cue.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's the majority of situations.
Right.
I
Now
think that's the
back to
majority.
our comment, he or she may be cheating. I mean, hell, heck yeah.
Yeah, right. Of course they cheating. They doing something. They
They
doing
doing
something.
something.
Yeah, they're doing something. But what they are doing is they're not fully communicating why they are not in love with you no more.
what
Whatever
about
that
the
is.
what about the cheater that's still telling you that he love you?
Or the girl that's still telling you they love you, or whoever it is. Yeah, like I mean, people do that, but that's because people like to have their cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's dangerous. I always say that that's dangerous because you you playing with somebody's life,
Mm-hmm.
and I never have respected that. Like
Mm-hmm.
to have multiple partners at once. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never been on that
Mm-hmm.
because what'll happen is that for one, you may get somebody that's crazy. Somebody might not be with that because they are really in love with you and they don't know how to handle that situation. So they might, you might die
Yeah.
fucking around with the right wrong one.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you look at like, okay, if you go out here and catch something and you being dishonest and lacking integrity, and then you go home and then you get that, you take that to whoever's supposed to be the person that you really loving, and now You know, like how did you love somebody but you took home an STD?
Right. Right. I'm with
You
you
know what I'm saying?
110%.
What part
110%.
of love was that? You know, how did you love somebody but you wouldn't have had a whole child, or you wouldn't got pregnant? You know, like I don't. That's why cheating, man. I don't agree with nobody who's a cheater, man. I think all cheaters is fucked up. You know, I do.
Well, I mean, I don't agree with cheating. I agree with you on that nature, on that statement. But I will say that by nature, I don't hate a cheater either, right? Like, and I'm being graceful because I've been cheated on and I've cheated, right? So
Fair enough.
it wouldn't be right for me to jump on that bandwagon, but I will agree that it's not a safe thing to do and that it could definitely lead to a terrible outcome. And you're right. Look at all of those possibilities you just listed. Bringing home a baby, bringing home an STD, and all of that. And then, are you challenging the other person's love if they decide that they don't want to stick around for that outcome of your behavior?
I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not tolerating being uh devalued. You know, I'm not tolerating there being a lack of value of my position in the relationship.
Right.
You know, so that's
Right.
the thing, because it's like, okay, um, if you have a problem, like I always say this, if you meeting somebody and you planning on marrying that person or being with that person, being a life partner with that person, sex should not be the focal point.
No.
Y'all gonna be able to make love and enjoy each other and all that stuff, you know. And if you're gonna procreate, have some kids and stuff like that, if that's it, have some babies, if that's in the equation, that's fine. All right. But for long term purposes, you have to be able to effectively communicate with each other. Y'all have to be friends. You're gonna have to like that person too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna it love ain't gonna just get you there. Not in these days.
Right. I
Okay,
agree with
we
you.
seen love with grandmama and granddaddy and them and all, the old folks, right? Because they was in the church heavy. You know, when they got married, it was a relationship with God, and you won't never break that bond because God will never forgive you for that,
Tough.
right? Hell, I'm divorced. I take it up with God when I get if
When
I
you
get
get there,
there.
right.
You know what I'm saying? you know, but I'm like, but nowadays, having a friend, having somebody that you enjoy spending time with because and you don't and it ain't about sex.
Yeah.
It's because when you get older, when you get old, y'all ain't gonna be able to do all that screwing like you was doing when you young.
Who you telling?
So you have to have a friend. It ain't just, oh, cause I got old and we can't do it now, I'm stuck with your ass.
No.
Nah, it's about developing a friendship so y'all can build other things and grow other things in other areas of your life
Yeah.
other than just making children.
Yeah.
Cause babies cost. you
Yeah.
know they whole life.
Yeah.
so
And
you
if you
know
ain't
so
doing it with the right person, it costs you your sanity on top of it.
yeah, so yeah, I recommend you know that people need to be honest. The whole cheating thing, yeah, there was a time where I would say I ain't in the field no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not conducting myself like that. I'm married, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happily married. So
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with cheating. Like I
Yeah.
disagree with it. I wouldn't do it. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, if I ain't gonna do that to you, then I'm not gonna tolerate you doing that to me.
Right.
You know? And it's
And
for
my
multiple things. It's like it's across the board. It's not
mm-hmm.
just with the cheating. It goes into other
Right.
areas of my life as well. You
Yeah.
know, so it's about being fair. Like
Yeah.
let's treat each other fair. Everybody wants equality, but they don't want to be fair with the people that they deal with.
Okay. So speaking on fairness, that's where I want to intervene and say So, things do happen with maturing and with life and experiences, because what was fair to me when I say I've cheated before, I've been a cheat backer. In my adult relationships,
You
I
cheated
have
back.
not initiated cheating. In my adult relationships, I have
You
always
still
cheated back.
cheated. You
I
still
did.
cheated.
I did. I
You know, you
did.
know, I'm gonna take the pressure off you. You know what? I cheated before.
Thank you.
You know
See?
what I'm saying? Cause I'm not sitting. I ain't sit up here. I didn't deny or agree. I just didn't say shit.
Right.
But since you, but since you want to lighten it up, make it like, oh, I cheat back. Nah, dog. If you do it, you just as wrong as the
And you
person who
right.
did it. You
And you
know?
right. And I'm
Eh,
so wrong. And that's why over the experiences and over the time, I've come to the conclusion like I'm not cheating back. I don't want to do that no more. What I prefer to do is remove myself from the situation altogether for plenty of reasons. Like you said, health purposes, mental purposes, and even just I always value myself. Don't get me wrong. I've always been highly confident in myself. But I haven't been as experienced years ago as I am today. So,
yeah.
like you just said, it doesn't stop at cheating. There's a lot of things that I'm not going to do back anymore, that we come to the age where I'm just going to remove myself from. So, yeah, I'm not condoning cheating out there in the world. If you ain't happy, move around, y'all.
Move around for real.
Yeah.
And with that, we're gonna move right on to our second question of the evening. Do you think saying I love you strengthens a relationship? Shout out to fans in the stands too. They done dropped a smooth 100 over here in the chat.
Ooh.
Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Go check them out each and every Thursday night on Fans in the Stands on YouTube.
I like their name, Fans in the Stands. I like that.
Yeah, they are a sports podcast, and they break down all of the Thursday night football games. That's what they got
Ooh,
going on over there. Dope
that's a clever
podcast over
name.
there. So yeah, y'all. Do you think saying I love you strengthens a relationship? Let us know in the comment section.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay,
Ladies
ladies
first. It's
first. That's
always
right.
ladies first.
A little bit of a G2, but I go
Mhm.
first. So, as for me, I do believe that saying it again can strengthen things. Every time I say it, it's with intentions of strengthening and reinforcing. I say it to everybody that I'm in a close relationship with, right? Whether it be my family members, whether it be my homegirl best friend, whether it be, my female homegirl, my male best friend, whether it be my significant other. Like I have about 10 people in life that I constantly tell them that I love them. And I have about another 10 people that I only have um uh periodic conversations with, and I tell them every time we get off the phone that I love them too. And I'm doing it because I hope it impacts them and it makes them feel good, because that's my genuine regard for that person and the relationship that we have. If I like you, when I get ready to get off the phone, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say, hey, I like you, and then, hang up the phone. I'm just going to say nothing, but, talk to you later. But every time I tell somebody that I love them when I get off the phone, it's because I want them to feel it from me, regardless of what type of conversation we just had, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. I still love you. You are still who you are to me in my life after this phone conversation. Good phone
Right.
conversation, bad phone conversation, even in person. You know, it's a thing of like, when I'm gone, I want y'all to know like she did love us, because not only did she do some things in life, but she constantly told us that she loved us. Like my sister, for example, I'll use her. I tell her I love her every single time we get off the phone. Sometimes she acknowledges, sometimes she don't. But I know 110% she's never going to be able to say that I miss telling her that I love her. Or like, damn, my sister didn't really tell me that, or this, that, and that. Like, I do it with intentions of hoping that it makes somebody feel good. As for me, when I hear it, well, we'll get to how I feel about that on question three. How about you? How about you?
oh man. Um saying strengthens a relationship. I don't know. I don't think it does. I think it's in the receiver. Like it's what it how it uh and what it means to you. The way you just broke it down, you just said to you communicate it because of the significance and importance that you put to it.
Right.
So I think that for me, since I don't put a significance to it like that,
Mm-hmm.
because I know if I love you or not, how I really feel about you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my actions are always reflective of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's whether it's a family or whether it's, friends that are family, I consider them family. You know, we may have other things that we say, like some of us say peace to each other,
Right.
and that's our form of I love you.
Yep.
Um, some of us say um, later, and that's our form, or late, you
Yep.
know, and that's our form of I love you, you
Yeah.
know, or some of us say, like, I got a couple partners that be like, cool, bro, cool, cool, and that's it, and we gone, and it's just gone,
Right.
you know. So that's our form of I love you, because I know if I call them and I need them for something, or they call me and they need me for something, we show each other love, because we oblige each other in each other's requests. So once you get to a point where, like, you have such a small circle and you've kind of weeded out all the fake lovers,
Yeah.
all the fake lovers, all the users and
Yeah.
abusers, who want to throw the word around, but then their actions don't never reflect. You know, the the what's that one I always say, the well, if you know I had it, I would do it for you.
Mm.
But you never try to put yourself in position to have it.
Exactly.
I just see you constantly begging, and then they be like, oh, well, that's looking down. But no, you are begging. That's you not acknowledging what you're doing, you know,
Right.
and you're actually thinking uh, that it's okay for me to take losses
Right.
on at your behest, you know. So for your situation, for your benefits. So to me, that's not love, So saying, I don't know, like I just, it's natural. Like when I say it to mom, it's just I love. It's like almost like routine, but that's your mother, so it's a psychological thing where it's like
Front
it's
door.
almost a what do we call it? Is this it's a spiritual, like almost like a ritualistic type of thing, because psychologically you wouldn't want to something to happen to you, and you feel bad about, damn, I spoke to my mother and I never told her I love her,
Yeah.
and something happened, after that conversation. So you want to say I love you, just because the world is the world and you don't know what can happen.
Yeah.
Nothing is promised. So just like you said, like with your sister, yeah, with my sister too, you know, um, and a few other people, like especially with certain people in family, just because you care about them, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but I don't know if it. I don't know if it strengthens the relationship. I don't think it strengthens it. With me,
Okay.
for an example, with me and my wife, nah, because it don't matter well, it matters what we say to each other, because we don't want to be nasty and rude and disrespectful to each other. But marriage is a thing, a partnership is a thing, a commitment is a thing that you wake up and you do
Mm-hmm.
every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nobody's forcing me to wake up every day and love my wife
Right.
and be the best man and be committed, be concerned, be compassionate, um, you know, considerate, to make sure I don't cheat, have discipline, things like, nobody's forcing me to do that.
Right.
That is a choice that I am making on my own free will and accord.
Right.
You know, the ring doesn't stop people from cheating.
Nope.
You know, the courts and the possibility of having to split assets or lose someone doesn't stop people.
Nope.
So it is truly the person's desire to themselves, the commitment to themselves of how they want to feel, in knowing that I love this person and my actions are reflective of it. And when I look in the mirror, I could feel good about that,
Yeah.
you know?
You're making great sense, but I feel like that is all within the action, and I think that you are maybe ahead of the game in some sort. I don't really know the correct term, but because somebody like you will say can't be easy manipulated, right? Because
I
they
don't
can
know,
do
cuz.
all this, but if they don't, have the action to follow up behind it, it just ain't working out, right? It ain't working out, right? But I know some people in life that I've met that will do things, but that don't mean that they love you, right? It just means
Mhm.
that their availability matched up with what you needed, and they had the time, space, and energy to give. So it could have been confused with love, right? Because it just looks
Absolutely.
like that. But the words never came out of the mouth, right? So it's like actions definitely to me speak louder than words, but I can understand how saying I love you can be a strengthener. I don't think it's the only thing that should strengthen or make or break the relationship, actually saying the phrase, but I can see how it could be a strengthener, right? It's almost like a good job for some people. Like they need to hear that, right? Because
Yeah,
who doesn't need positive reinforcement or motivation? And me and you may need that in a different way than somebody else. Somebody else might just need to
that's
hear the
right.
term, I love you. Me
That's
and you
right.
might be like, we so fat past that damn I love you. Like, tell me something else that you noticed about me that I feel like that you're paying attention to, you know?
I think that on that level, there are people who think like that. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who think like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just specifically to your point, with tell me something that you think about me, because I'm looking for self improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So more so than I love you, um, I can take some constructive criticism. Do you think I did a good podcast, babe? How you like the podcast?
Right.
Do you think I need to improve? What do you think I can improve on to be better? You
Right.
know, so I look for those things. You know, uh, what's other things? Like when I'm putting shit. Well, I don't know, because I think I dress better than my wife anyway. Um,
Hold up. Don't do that to Keish. I'm
I
here
mean,
for
I
the
just I just
girls.
been fly since day one. Since I slid out. So, I be giving her style points and stuff like that. But
Okay.
let me tell it. But but it is things that I look for. That I look for her reinforcement. Because I value her opinion. And to me, that is love. that is
Mhm.
that is an expression of saying I love you, because she cares enough about it to be delicate with it enough, but be firm with it enough, and be honest, and be
Mm,
brutally honest if necessary, so
mm.
that way I can actually improve,
You
you
got a
know?
good wife. You got a good wife.
I think so. I
Yeah.
married her. But but definitely, and I think that part of it's not just the words "I love you," but I think that's what helps strengthens it. Strengthens the relationship.
Right.
Those type of things.
I agree with you. And in fact, again, if y'all didn't catch the episode before this, make sure you do because we talked about love language here and there in that episode. And I think that maybe this question is definitely uh derived off of that, if that makes any sense. Like it might strengthen it hearing it might not, but is it a love language? Because if it's not hearing it, then I could understand why it ain't strengthening it. But like you just said, there's other things that can be used to strengthen the relationship outside of just the phrase itself coming out your mouth.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So our third question: how does hearing "I love you" make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the comment section. I'm gonna go to this one uh comment over here real quick. Bubble and Brown put in. Shout out to Bubble and Brown for pulling up. Bubble and Brown says the impact of saying "I love you" depends on how both people perceive and respond to expressions of love. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we can agree with that.
I can agree with that 110%. I'm one of those people actually, right? Like I'm very complicated, I must admit, right? So again, we'll use the people close in my life. My mother. How does it make me feel when she tells me she loves me? I know my mother loves me, right? Like she don't have to tell me not one day because she showed me every day that she loves me. Gets on my nerves, but shows me every day that she loves me by checking up on my progress in life, by just reaching out, seeing what I'm doing, how I'm doing, just always trying to make herself available, in the midst of her own life for my life. Again, a love language. So it, I'm happy that she's on earth to be able to utter those words out her mouth. But when it comes
That's
to
right.
her, I don't need it. Now, let's go back to somebody like my sister. I don't need it from her either, but I ain't gonna lie. When I get it from her, because she's not a person to always reciprocate the term or the phrase during the point of separation or even just in the middle of conversation, you can randomly say something like I love you. It's like the few times that I get the acknowledgement or the hearing from her or the words come out of her mouth, it make me melt inside, right? That's what it does for me with those people. But then I could give you an ex-lover, and every time he tell me he hear me, it makes me, excuse me, tell me that he loves me. When I hear it, it makes me mad.
Yeah, because you think about the nonsense and all of the stuff that didn't identify that
With
you do.
love.
Yeah.
Exactly. So bubbling brown is right on the head for someone like me. It is definitely about how you perceive it and how the other person, how you respond to it, how they perceive it, all of that. How do you feel about it? I mean, I know how you feel about saying it, but how do you feel about hearing it yourself?
you know, I've like toiled with this a lot in my life because sometimes you hear it and you feel like I felt like I'm obligated to say it back.
Mm.
So like that's how I guess I don't know. I guess that's how kind of like desensitized I am to it. Where depend on the flow of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, am I supposed to say it back?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I obligated to say it back? Because it's only I guess people that I haven't placed expectations on
Mm.
where it doesn't cross my mind if it's genuine or not.
Mm-hmm.
So if I haven't placed the expectation on you, and or you haven't given me a reason to question the validity of it,
Mm-hmm.
then it bothers me. Like we had a conversation on offline. I'm not gonna bring it online, but I refer to it just because you know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where when that person tells me that they love me, I question it because it's just like you do so much sucker shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really love me?
Mm-hmm.
So if that person tell me they love me, then I'd be like, yeah, love you too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying it just like because I guess I'm obligated to say it.
Really? That's how you feel?
Yeah, because their actions
Mm-hmm.
are non-agreeable with me
Mm-hmm.
and how I prefer to love people, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So because I prefer to love people a certain way and my actions are reflective of it, because theirs aren't,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm in disagreement with their actions.
Right.
Hearing them say it, you
Yeah.
know, has no effect on me. It's like I said, like I know if I need to call that person for some foolishness, I could call them for some foolishness.
Right.
But I'm not fucking with no foolishness.
Right.
So it's like I don't have no reason to call you for that. I want to be able to call you for something that's beneficial, some fruitfulness.
Yeah.
Okay. If I can't call you for no fruitfulness, and I'm saying every time that I talk to you, you want to talk about foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Or every time I'm around you, you want to engage in foolishness. Or try to get me to engage in foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying you don't love me because I'm telling you, like, you trying to, you want me to be somebody that you used to know.
Yeah.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like you
Right.
want me to be somebody that you used to know,
Yeah.
you know,
I feel
and
that.
and and I and I love and I have learned to love myself better, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So
Mm-hmm.
I treat myself better. I do better for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and but you're still valuing that. You still want me to place value in that.
Right.
So when I hear it from certain people, it does. That's what I go through psychologically. I
Yeah.
I, I look at the relationship. I had a brother that we was real cool for a long time. I had homeboys in the street we was real cool with for a long time, and they did sucker shit.
Yeah.
So I had to question, like, damn, do you love me for real? Because why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know, I had brothers who I knew for a long time who didn't do, the same type of things that the people in the street did.
Yeah.
And I still even had to question that. Like, why would you do that
Mm-hmm.
if you love me for real?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like if you could hug me and say I love you, bruh, are you hugging me to see how close you can get to stab me in the back
That part.
or stab me in my chest?
Mm-hmm.
So if I hear you say you love me, like, do it. I'm looking at your actions now. I'm taking the whole mental account of, like,
Right.
long handle spoon on that love. I'm cool.
I agree with you. And in correlation to what you're saying in the statement that I made, like we'll just use a ex or somebody. We don't even have to use the ex. We can use a friend or somebody that you feel like has maybe done some things that hasn't aligned with what you would perceive as love, right? And you sit back, you like, why would they do that to me? And that's the psychological thing that we talked about. But I have learned over time, right? This is like something to just like help yourself out or like just help the whole situation out. Like sometimes it ain't you. It's really the person themselves, right? Because You can remove yourself and you can put somebody else in your position, and they're going to play that game the same way, or that hand, or that go that same route, because it's a them thing. It's about how they were brought up. It's about the things that they perceive as love, the things they value, and how they digest shit, right? Or stuff, excuse me, because they genuinely may be doing the best version of loving you that they have to give.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
and it may be falling short for us, but it might be really all that they had or got. And I'm not saying excuse that and dumb yourself down for that. What I'm saying is, once you remove yourself from it, free your mind too, because sometimes it just ain't about you. You
That's
know,
right.
like ain't shit that we could have did or do, you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that a whole 100%, because that is them. That is their actions. That's not
Yeah.
your actions. So but that's what we was talking about earlier, when I was just like, only people you love can hurt you, because if I didn't care, if I wouldn't be disappointed if I didn't love them,
Right.
you know. I would just be like, I whatever. You show me who you are, I believe you. Now I'm keeping my distance.
Yeah.
you know. But like some of them people I named and some of the people I didn't name, I've given them chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, only to, me ending up being the idiot, you
Yeah.
know, and realizing like, hold up, the only reason why this is keeps happening is because, like what you said, because it's them and me not acknowledging that that's who they are,
Yeah.
you know. So I
Prime
think once,
example, ladies, if you're dating a man, or men, if you're dating a lady and your significant other cheats on you, maybe once, maybe twice, however many times during the duration of your relationship, maybe with the same person or a new mate that they cheat with, who knows? Then you remove yourself from that situation and you look at what they're doing in their next situation, which is the same antics, pattern, behavior. And then you really sit back and think, the little win that you got a gusp of about the relationship prior to you, and they were doing the same thing. Chances are it's the person, it's not you, right? Like whatever they experience in life is, whatever their chemical makeup is, that's what they want to do. Like so I feel like, again, I'm trying to correlate all together as far as hearing it and how it makes you feel. It's, I guess it's about the experience of the end of the whole situation. I have somebody right now in my life, just a platonic friend, but because of the things they've been through and the experiences that they have, it does such great gesture for them when we separate from each other. After we hug, I'd be like, all right, I love you, right? And there's no sexual connotation with it. It is that they understand we are platonic friends with no type of attachment, and the fact that I vibe with them, knowing what they've been through, like the things that they faced, the obstacles they've been through, like, and after that, after they made it out, they still got somebody in their eyes like me that is willing to associate or kick it with them, and be like, damn, like your experience is really crazy. Who you are, I like who you are, man. In fact, I love you. I love you as a person. You just genuine. That does so much for them, you know. So for me, it don't really do much in that instance because I'm just expressing how I feel to you. But for you to hear it and perceive it and it do so much for you, I'm not gonna stop telling you I love you because I know it make you feel good,
yeah,
you know. So definitely all about who you are and how you are.
absolutely. Who you are and how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on to our fourth question of the evening. Are there any situations where it is more meaningful to say I love you?
Hmm.
Like we talked about earlier, uh, like if somebody is dying, then, hey, that might be that might be a situation. But you just explained something um speaking about your friend, understanding that they have been through a lot of situations in life, a lot of trying things, a lot of tough things, and that you all just being able to tell each other, I love you, um, as just having somebody
Mm-hmm.
around you who is not trying to harm you, having somebody
Mm-hmm.
who wants to see you win, who is trying to help you gain in life, you know. um I think that that goes with number two. That's a beautiful and perfect example of, do you think saying I love you strengthens a relationship? That is a clear example of and use case of you all saying I love you in your
Right.
relationship and strengthening it, because of the fact that we all, to another one of your points, we all experience different traumas in our life
Mm-hmm.
where, some people may not have been hugged as children. Some people may not
Right.
have had their parents tell them they love them, may not have had friends who showed them love, who are, or family members who showed them love. They might have just grew up in a lot of chaos and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
toxicity and
Mm-hmm.
uh, unhealthy things, to where they developed, all of these bad habits
Mm-hmm.
and these things, these what they call toxic norms,
Mm-hmm.
that they think are now socially acceptable
Mm-hmm.
because can't nobody tell you shit, you
Right.
know, but doesn't don't realize why they keep failing at relationship after relationship after
Mm-hmm.
relationship, or they have a relationship that is just sucky,
Mm-hmm.
where like one person don't even want to be around a person,
Hmm.
you know. So
Hmm.
it's like, you know, it's a very touchy thing, but I understand that everybody experiences it different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where is it more meaningful to say I love you? Are there any situations where it's more meaningful to say I love you? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section,
Yeah.
and or in the chat, and let your love speak in the comments. Tell us what y'all think. Are there any
Yeah.
situations where it is more meaningful to say I love you? What you
That's
think?
a good question. I actually want to play on the field a little bit with this question. Now, this is like a off subject, but still on context. So it's not what it is. Is it meaningful? Is it more meaningful? Let's say you got two people, right? Let's say you got a triangle of people, right? You have a lover and a mate, and then you have a lover, a mate, and then a mistress, right?
Mm,
Right. Let's say that, right?
that's a trifecta.
That's a trifecta. Yeah, exactly.
A
Right.
trifecta. Okay.
Right. Exactly. So let's say you have that little setup going on, right? And one doesn't know about the other, right? But they end up all like confronting the main subject of the triangle. They end up confronting them, and what I want to know is, does it matter at that moment if the man look at you dead in your face, or if the woman who's cheating or the man who's cheating look at you dead in your face and is like, I love you? Is that a meaningful moment right there? Or is that like,
Is that a trick question?
right?
Billy Badass Joe, is that a trick question?
I mean, it depends on who you asking.
Man, I don't know. I mean, for me in that situation, I don't even, like, damn, I don't even know how we got there, because I would be trying to figure out like first of all, how did I get in the same place with if I'm the one being cheated on and
Yeah.
being told I love you by this woman, and now and her other thing a lane is there, and we
Mm-hmm.
both in this, like, did I catch them? Did are we at dinner and he walked up? Did
Mm-hmm.
she just show up to my job. You know, did she just was I at the house cooking dinner and she just walked in like, hey, you know, I got something I want to tell you, and this
Oh,
is,
you trying?
you know, like I'm trying to figure out how the hell we got here because, you know, like somebody playing with me, like, you know, I will say this because I've been cheated on before,
Mm,
but I got lied to, you know,
mm,
and they lived the lie as long as they could live the lie,
mm.
you know, because even then I wasn't with that,
Right.
you know, even then I wasn't with that. So they lived the lie as long as they got caught until they got
Hmm.
caught, you know, and then when they got caught, I went to jail.
I mean, me too. You ain't by yourself.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, like, I mean, that's just how that goes. So to me, you know, somebody telling you I love you, and at that time, you know, she wasn't saying I love you. You
Right.
know, she
Right.
wasn't saying yeah. So,
Yeah.
and her actions were surely not reflective of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, you know, so I can't imagine. Um, yeah, I can't imagine its validity. I can't even like what would be the validity of it at that point.
Right.
You know, like why would you even consider it? You
Right.
know,
It might
the
piss
only
me
thing I
off.
think is a sucker would consider it because I wouldn't have, I wasn't. Well, let me say this. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack of roni, like a real macaroni would.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but my feelings weren't hurt.
Okay.
All right, I was in my
Why?
feeling. I was in my feelings because I had cheated. She just ain't
Oh,
never
I was
knew.
going to say, why weren't your feelings hurt? Because you had an expectation that this was going to happen.
No, no, I was completely. Let me tell you something. I was completely in the blind. I couldn't tell from us having intercourse that she was sleeping with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, you know, I didn't smell another guy on her,
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um my fit was still my fit. I was
Mm-hmm.
still, you know,
In
doing
there
what
like
we do.
swimwear.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no, you know, what the ocean didn't change, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was in a complete dark. Like I didn't know nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the way it unfolded, I did not appreciate being lied to like that
Mm.
because there was a plan that we had in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I was not able to give her the attention that she desired
Mm.
was
Because you're working
because
on y'all plan.
I was working on our plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with
Mm-hmm.
me working on our plan, it required for me to be there. In order to make the money, I got to go be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to go play because that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is the trust. Now I'm doing this to benefit us, but now I'm realizing I can't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was the thing. Now the thing that got me locked up was because he wanted to do some talking and he wanted to do some faking and a whole lot of perpetrating, and I'm just not that dude. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm chilled. Like I was just like, you know, like bro, like I'm not even talking to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you already up. I even told the
Mm-hmm.
guy. I told the guy. I said, bro, you already up.
Mm-hmm.
You got my wife right here, bro. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing else to me, man.
Nothing.
Don't say nothing else to me, bro. Like you
Mm-hmm.
already winning. I'm already looking corny right now. I'm already looking good. She got me looking fucked up out here. You
Maybe for
know,
the moment, but she took the ultimate L.
and then but then he wanted to get cute. So, you know what I'm saying? I was born cute. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, you know, I'm telling you I don't want no problem, and then but you still try and carry it like you really tough. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, she don't know me from that. She met me in the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
That was the change of my life. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's where all these people be at now. Like, oh, he Coast Guard, this and that. But you don't know who the fuck I used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't even like that nigga no more. You
Mm-hmm.
know? But
Mm-hmm.
he can still get tapped into if that's what
Mm-hmm.
you want. If you really want that, that's why I'd be like, if you really want that, take it there then
Right.
and see what you get.
Do you need that? Because I got that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that was that situation, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
fortunately enough for me, it did not derail my career and allow me to be able to do the things that we doing today and
Yeah.
continuing to spread love through my story, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that like even in that situation, even if she would have said I love you, which she told me a couple days later, is just like
Right.
nah, you know, not doing that because you gotta
Right.
love all of me.
Yeah.
You know, like we was trying to do something. Like you completely lied. You completely misled me. You know, and I always said like I don't justify it to be like when you was like I cheat back. You know, I don't justify it to be like well, you know, when I cheated, I was out of the country. You know, so it wasn't like I was, you know, I was a sailor doing sailor things and shit like that. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it wasn't, I never looked at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just looked at it like shit wrong,
Right, exactly.
you
No, and
know.
that you are an anomaly because a lot of people ain't going to think like that. They're going to do just what you said. I'm out of the country. They never get back. It ain't never happened. All of
Right,
that. So it really is about where your headspace is and who you are. Not where your body is or where your location is.
right.
Um.
And that's why I didn't trip off. That's why I wasn't tripping off of her cheating. Her
Mhm.
cheating didn't bother me. You
Mhm.
know, it was the lie, the way it was able to play out. And
Oh yeah.
then and then this guy and his level of disrespect, you know, like
Mhm.
I don't expect if you go like no cheater goes and sits around and has a conversation about the person that they cheating on, right?
Uh, Some of them do.
I mean, I don't, I see, I'm just not that experienced in cheating.
Some of
So
them do.
you know, so I can't imagine like a woman is cheating on her husband, all
Mm.
right, and she's over there crying a river. He don't do this. He won't do that. He don't do this. He don't do that. He gone all the time. He this. He that. He this. He woo woo woo. He don't talk to me. He don't listen to me. He always is blah blah blah. In the meantime, he just like okay, stroking her
Right.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm like, all right, if that's the case, then if you see this brother, then or this man, whoever this the other partner, whoever it is, then like how are you now trying to stand up? You don't do this for her. You don't do that for her. You don't do like
Right. Like when did she tell you that? When you were fucking her and my wife
you know
on
what
while
I'm
I was at
saying?
work?
So it's like I couldn't imagine that, right? So to me,
Right.
I'm just like, okay, if that's not the case, like if this not a thing that you've been having for months and months and months and months, and this just some little dude that you just been dealing with, you know, then you know, tell him, check him,
Yeah. For real.
check him.
Yeah.
You know, like you bold enough to cheat, then be bold enough to check to check the your you know your hitter,
Yeah.
right? Be bold enough to check him and say, you know what? Nah, you're not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm cheating on my husband or whatever,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna disrespect him. You know,
Yeah.
I'm fucked up. Yeah, I am fucked up for cheating, but fuck it, it's too late now. You know, but I think that people don't have no class about themselves, man. Like they just,
Mm.
and it just takes a level of maturity to get to be there to have that, because you can do something and be dead wrong and
Mm-hmm.
still be, you know, mature about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why I always say criminals even know when they committing crime.
Mm-hmm.
At least the good ones.
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you ain't lying about that.
but
But
it's yeah.
here's the adverse of it though, right? Because is there any proper time to tell someone you love them? Since we talk about cheating, let's talk about proper times and when you shouldn't be saying stuff. Because there's plenty of cheaters who do just that. They use that verbiage and that language in scenarios and situations that they should not be, which in turns make motherfuckers feel comfortable, i.e., like the side or the side girl, and then that's why they are getting out of context or stepping out of pocket because your significant other is over there making them feel a certain type of way and telling them dropping the L word on them. So just as there may be a proper time to tell someone that you love them, there are definitely proper times to refrain from it, and especially when you're sharing it with somebody outside of your relationship or your commitment. We'll say that outside of your commitment, right? Um, you get where I'm going with that. You can see how that could be a problem too, right?
I do see how that could be but that's getting involved. That's like, and that's the problem that I have with cheating,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're cheating, like you're already connecting with somebody else emotionally. You're already developing an emotional attachment.
Or physical.
Well, it's going to be emotional regardless if it's a woman involved, because women are emotional.
Okay. Even
You
if
know,
even if he's not emotionally clean to her, there's still emotion in the situation because
yeah,
it's a woman.
of
Period.
course,
Oh,
because
okay.
just the nature of femininity. You
Oh,
know,
so you don't think some women can detach the essence of love and just go in for the physical and the climax of the situation and be done? Like that's not possible?
they gonna hit it once.
I mean, maybe
No,
she just wanted to see what
no,
it's like.
no. But if she hit it once and she liked it, then she coming back, and that's emotional.
Why is that not sexual?
Because it's still an emotional attachment. Because you like the way it feels. You like the way your brain relaxes and you climaxes and everything else.
That
That's
sounds physical to
emotion.
me.
That it is physical, but it's an emotional attachment. Because if you call him one night and he like, nah, I'm gonna have to hit you tomorrow,
You feel something, she might feel some type of way.
she gonna feel some type of way.
What if she cool with it? Like, bet tomorrow it is then.
Nah, not if it's
Oh, they
Chef
don't
Earl Pearl.
exist. I know that's
Yeah, that
right.
shit don't exist. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be in her fucking feelings. Whether
Uh
she tell
huh.
you about it or not, she gonna be in her feelings. She gonna be like, "What?
All right.
I just be giving him this, blah, blah, blah,
That
and
he ain't
this,
make
that."
no time for me. Like,
You know what I'm saying? And he ain't got no. Yeah, exactly. That's
well, I
in
don't
your
know nothing
feelings.
about that.
That's it. That's it. That's in your feelings because you just like, what he mean? He act like he this and he that, but you calling me. You calling though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely you gonna be in your feelings. And that's why I say people shouldn't cheat. That's why people should be honest. When you done with somebody, be done with them.
Yes.
Because what'll
Oh.
happen, is that you'll go and you'll create this other thing and these
Mm.
emotional things. And that's what happened with that conflict. I don't know how long they had been having going on what they had going on,
Mm-hmm.
but he felt the need that he had to try to step in and intervene, you know, a conversation that a wife is having with her husband, even though
Right.
she cheating, you know,
Right.
and that shit'll get you shot, homeboy. You
I
know what I'm saying? So it's
bet.
like, you know,
Yeah.
so That's where I'm talking about that emotional attack. Somebody will get it because these dudes be getting emotional now, though. They not even no
What?
players where they, just like, yeah, I'm just, all right, I'm cool. Shit, y'all go ahead, just drop me off real quick. I'm cool. Y'all can go handle that, y'all domestic shit on y'all own. You know, they want to get emo. They want to fight. They
They
want to
want to
fight.
fight. They want to tussle, baby.
Yeah,
Want to
it's
tussle.
like so. Yeah, so that's why I be like, nah, man, don't put yourself in a situation. Don't be a cheater, man. Have some integrity, be mature, tell a person whatever it is that you done with, and that you dislike and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just and accept it. It be hard.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had people that we didn't have to cheat, they didn't have to cheat for us to break up.
Right. Yeah.
We've
Exactly.
all had relationships where you just had to go your separate ways.
Yeah.
And it's hard, it
Mm-hmm.
still was hard. It's still, you might
Mm-hmm.
linger around a little bit for a little bit, but it's still hard. But it's like, it may be other things. They being a bum. They don't want shit out of life. You
What?
know, they too argumentative. They want to argue all the goddamn
All the
time, and
time.
and they nasty, with their tongue,
Or they not a problem solver. They can't never get to the bottom of shit. Or they always a victim or
or
something
they
like that.
always a victim, or
Yeah.
yeah, and they just mentally exhausting. So you just like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, I can't do this shit with this person because I don't see myself doing this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you know.
Right.
So we had them things, but like, it don't necessarily have to go to the cheating. You can just tell a person, be honest, hey, I'm done with you. People don't want to do that though. People are cowards. They rather make excuses.
I know about a good three people right now that probably would enjoy life if they could just utter those words and get to that part. But like you said, for some reason it seems easier is just to stick in it than it is to pull out of it.
Man, say that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, y'all, we've been answering our Love Speak Q&A tonight. Make sure if y'all tuned in, we appreciate everybody tuning in right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. We really appreciate it when y'all do that. It helps us get into the algo so everybody else can let their love flow. Roger McClure says, "Is that Alicia Keys?"
Thank you, Roger. I've got that a few times in life.
Cause that girl on fire.
That girl, ooh, that was good. That was
Cause that girl on
good. Is
fire.
it this way or this way? I'm getting old.
I don't know. I don't do that. Girls do
Oh, okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that way. It's up.
Right.
It's all the
Thank you,
way up.
Roger.
It's all the way. Shout out to Roger though. Um, what else did we have? We had another comment in here. Bubbling Brown said, "Of course, it's meaningful to say it on special occasions, weddings, etc., and doing acts of kindness, just to name a few."
Okay, he's right.
Okay.
I agree
So,
with him.
Bubbling Brown said, "It's meaningful to say I love you on special occasions, weddings, okay, things like that. All right, and
I mean,
special
I even
occasions,
think,
birthdays.
right.
You just need to tell somebody, oh, well, yeah, tell them you love them on their birthday, at least."
Once a year, you gonna get that I love you from me. Like, okay.
Yeah, shout out Bubbly Brown. We having some fun with your comment, though.
Yeah.
Our fifth and final question: is it more important to hear "I love you" or to see loving actions? Billy
Hmm.
Badass Joe,
Hmm.
what you think, baby?
As for me, because I am who I am, I need a combination of both.
Combo of
I
both.
need a combination of both. I need to hear it and I need to see it. And I need them to coincide. I don't need more one than the other. I don't need the other one less or more. I need both. And I need them to coincide. Um, at one point in time in life, you probably could have told me or asked me, and I probably would have told you like, "No, nah, I don't need to hear it. I just need them if I can see it or know that they love me." But in reality, I need both now as a grown up. as a, almost 40-year-old woman.
Oh, you still young. So young.
I don't know, 40 right around the corner, hanging on the 39 as long as I can.
Hanging on a thin line, on a 39,
Yes.
on a 30 line.
Yes. 39 equaling 35, about to be 40. But I think both of them are significant. I'm definitely a actions girl. Like, because again, I don't need just the phrase itself being said to me. That could come off as manipulation very easily, or it could, even if you're not manipulating me, sometimes it could just come off as a space filler, or I might even get the inclination of, like how you said earlier, in a situation where you were like not forced to saying it, but you felt obligated almost to say it when somebody says it back to you. So I feel like I need a person to say it to me on their own regard, not feel obligated to say it to me, but initiate it on their own regard as well as their actions. And to me, that's important because some people in this world, like me, I'm gonna say like me, I'm with what I would consider fair. I'm human, so I got, I have my moments, I've had my situations in life, but generally speaking, at a consensus, I feel like I'm very fair, right? And I might even go above and beyond every now and then for somebody or some people. And I need them to understand that that don't mean I love you. That just is my character, my nature, my makeup of who I am. Now, if I'm doing those things, and in addition to those things, I'm coming out my mouth and saying to you, I love you, then I do want you to receive that phrase as well as my actions and put the two together and know it's genuine. But I've come across people in life that say, I don't believe this statement, but we'll go with what they said. I don't know how to treat people differently. I treat all the women in my life the same. That's a lie, but okay.
I'm about to say stop the
Yeah,
cap.
that's a lie. But even if you wanted
cause
that
you,
to
cause you
be
don't treat nobody like your mama, and
right,
you don't treat nobody like your sister.
exactly. In
Yeah.
all fairness, your mama is gone, RIP, and your sister is not the epitome of the type of woman that you would want for yourself in your life. So no, you don't treat all the women the same.
Right.
But even if that is what you wanted the person to believe, so basically they can, everybody can feel like you love them. Because if you treat them good all the way across the board, somebody don't need to hear I love you. They think that your treatment of how you're treating them is equating to you loving them. Whole time she's a silly rabbit. You treat the other girls just like that. So
Yeah.
for me, not only do I need the action, but I need the word behind it, the words. And if you're choosing to say the words and you don't mean them, then you a liar. You're a manipulator. I don't want you to say the words if you don't mean them. And I don't want you to say the words just because you got actions with it. I want you to tell me because you really love me.
What about the toxicity though? The toxic part though. What you think about how does that play in with it as far as like, you have people who, like we talked about this a little bit last show, like where they have, our last show was love language episode 2. Y'all go check that out. Um, where because people grew up seeing a seeing dysfunction, seeing physical abuse, seeing argumentative behavior, that
Mm-hmm.
they think that that's the norm, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll get in situations where they think that now tantrums and acting immature and poor communication is, is acceptable behavior. And then people do accept it because they don't know no better,
Mm-hmm.
or they may have been exposed to the same thing. So they think that, toxic shit like that is tough love,
Right.
you know? Um, and fucking and fighting becomes normal. That
Mm-hmm.
becomes,
Mm-hmm.
where somebody got to get their ass whipped before they get their ass caressed, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, where do you think that plays a part in the saying "I love you," but the actions are toxic? Is it because the toxicity is normalized that now that I love you as the value, or is that just uh confusion being able to exist in its own little ball?
Yeah. I think we're going to, long story short, it ends with that one, confusion being able to exist in a little ball. But the person that's saying it, they know, in my opinion, what they're doing. And if they don't know what they're doing, it's almost even worse, right? Because it's like, oh my God, oh my gosh, are they ever going to be able to be fixed? Because they're not even aware of what they're doing. It's just part of their makeup of natural life, right? And I feel like toxicity and I love you is so easy to wrap up together because it's an emotional stance. It's an emotional string that they're pulling on, right? Because again, as I described, love, or the word love, is a word or a phrase that excuse me, let me get this out, that describes an emotion that is invoked inside of you about how you feel, right? So if we fighting and we fucking, and then you telling me that you love me, and this is not for me verbatim, this is just like a woman in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
then it's almost like you know that you're using that as poison, right? And if you don't know that you're using it as poison because it's really your makeup, that's the even scarier situation, because how do you come out of that? How do you change that up for the next person?
Mm.
How do you become better for yourself in the future? Right? Like, how does that? Now, there's some people that's mindful. They know what the hell they doing. They know they dragging you through the mud and they about to pick you up and dust you off and tell you that they love you. That's part of the program. So you can,
Yeah.
be on that program and get done to like that, or you could remove yourself. And then you had the people who are in it and been in it for so long, whether they with, this girl, that girl, but their pattern has, because they don't even know that they are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they think throughout all of it, as long as you hear the words "I love you" or you get validated with "I love you," then your behavior was okay.
I know. That's you hit the nail on the head, because that's what I was getting with that whole chaotic little ball, because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That hearing that I love you now validates all of the toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
All of the things that we would consider to be, not normal, not of a very loving relationship, that wouldn't exemplify,
Mm-hmm.
if I got to call you or out your name, you got to call me out my name for us to resolve issues, simple
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Even difficult decisions shouldn't require us to have to take it that elevated in our vocal tones, in our conversation, or anything, when the goal is to resolve the issue.
Exactly.
You know, and it shouldn't, and it doesn't take a team. You know, like a team may have some disagreements about things,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't require for people to be bent out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
The only time people get bent out of shape is when they're trying to manipulate the whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to go that way. They're trying to be selfish and not see the goal of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so we see that play out a lot in, I mean, relationships all the time, with somebody more selfish, and that causes things not to work. But and then some people just tolerate it. Some, you have some relationship with a person, like you were saying too, where a person just, that's part of the program, where they just get stepped on, stepped on, stepped on, stepped on,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel as though, like, well, if I don't do this, then I just want to make this person happy, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and even if it's at my expense of being
Yep.
pitiful,
Yep.
you know, and I think all those people need therapy. I think all
Yeah.
those people need some type of therapy and a self reflection,
Yeah.
because that was the other thing you said when you said, how does a person be in a relationship like that and then they go and prepare themselves to go to a next relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I always use myself as an example. Like I was married and I needed some, it was a lot of things, regardless of that scenario that I shared with y'all earlier about how leading to my divorce. There was a lot of things that I also was deficient in my communication, in my consideration, in my own accountability. I could sit here and say, I didn't deserve to be cheated on, but I could also sit here and say that my ex didn't deserve to be treated like she wasn't valued.
Right.
She didn't deserve to be treated like her concerns about things weren't important.
Right.
So these were all things that I needed to work on for myself, because I didn't want to get into another situation where at least I was deficient in those things. I wanted to see myself self improve.
Yeah.
So when I got to the next relationship, you know, I had worked on myself. And that's what I think, like, people got to take time out of these relationships that they come out of.
Mm-hmm.
Heal yourself,
Hmm.
you know, by self reflecting, by looking at, by not just placing the blame. Of course, the other person did some shit,
Right.
but look at how you could have responded different. Look at some of your actions leading up to it, because a lot of people do the blame game. Well, you know how you said earlier, and I'm just teasing you because you said it. I respond cheated, because I got
Right.
cheated
For
on
real.
first, so I react cheated.
For real.
Like
And
two
you heard how
wrongs.
I grew. I'm gonna pull
Yeah,
out moving forward now.
like two wrongs making a right. But
Right.
but that's just adding more hurt on top of hurt,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when we leave that situation, like, then we have to look at ourselves and say, like you doing, taking responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
accountability for you. Like, yeah, I did. I knew that I could have did. I ain't have to go and cheat just because that
Mm-hmm.
person cheated. You
Right.
know, I could have done something different. Could have just focused on myself. Continue
Yep.
to level up.
Yep.
And stun it on them a different way.
Yep.
You know, and I think if we choose that, that's one more healthier for us, because then we don't risk having an emotional connection with somebody that we really don't give a fuck about. Like, we just gonna use somebody
Yep.
for our own, own purpose to,
Momentary satisfaction.
yeah, because we're hurting deep down inside. So, that saying, hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
So, I think that there's some validity to that. But just taking the time to self reflection allows you to say, what can I do better? What can I be better at? And then when I went to that next relationship, you know, I was like, wow. I was like, looking at now that next relationship I went into, she was fucked up.
Yep.
I could say that because I was on my most perfect behavior.
Yeah.
All of the things that I didn't know from in my marriage, I worked on, and made sure that I was better, that I was, more this and more that and more this and more that, all of these boxes, so that way I could make sure that I didn't leave room for these other things to happen.
Yeah.
But I found out
Mm-hmm.
that you could still get a person who's super traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
where they say, well, you do this. And I ain't even know this. Like, this was some wild shit. I ain't even know that people would be like, well, you do this, and this, but you don't do this, and this. And it's like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that? Oh,
Like,
well,
what do you mean? Like, listed the good things that you do, but listed the things that you're missing that are good too?
okay. Yes. but how that's how but how that was being presented is like, well, you do these good things,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but I'm used to,
Uh-huh.
all right,
Well, she's gonna always get what she got. Keep going for the things
this,
she's used to.
and that's where I was just like, well, those things that you was used to, all right, we together now. That
Mm-hmm.
shit ain't last.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I do that stuff?
Right.
You see,
Yep.
you're not with them guys.
But the
No,
difference between you and her is that you took the time out, worked on yourself, and identified, and then she just did what we said not to do: put on a new pair of shoes and keep it rolling.
and that was her thing, But needless to say, no shot to her or nothing. This is a real thing, just some real pee, because I'm that guy, Chef Earl
Mm-hmm.
Pearl. You know what I'm saying? But then like she went and became a baby mother, and then she called me back talking about why we can't do this, and I'm like, because I don't date women with kids. So you was on the front line where you could have been a wife. You know what I'm saying? But you fucked your life up, and then you went out here. Shout out to the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a beautiful blessing. So you got that to maintain. But now I ain't, I don't date women with kids. So you put yourself out of my league. You put yourself out of my category. So I couldn't take you back if I wanted you. You know, and
You like
that's
your women like I like my weed with no seeds.
I smoked to that. I was smoked to that. I
Right.
was smoked to that. But answering that question real quick, our final question, y'all, is it more important to hear I love you or to see love in actions? And for Chef Earl Pearl, you already know what I'm gonna say. I need to see the love in actions because I know what it what love looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what it tastes like, what it smells like, so I could do that deaf, you know. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't need to hear it,
I could tell
if
by the
if
beginning. I could tell by the way you answered the first one or two questions. I said, when we get to five, he going to say he need to see it. Hell, like, make me go deaf. I don't care. I need to see it.
I
Like,
need to see it. Yeah.
yeah,
If I was deaf, I wouldn't have nothing but to see it because I couldn't
right.
hear nothing. People might hit me with the, ain't that I love you? Is that still I love you in
This
in
your
sign language, or which
your
one
your
is it?
phone is your screen. I'm sorry, is frozen. Really been frozen the whole time, but I just been vibing. But
It's cool.
if you going like this, then yes,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. So
I
yeah.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think the whole world got us right. But yeah, if I had to do it, then that's cool, and I could see that, but I'm still gonna be checking for actions.
right.
I'm still gonna be checking for actions. I'm still gonna be trying to see what's going
One
on.
hundred and 10%. And maybe and in the next episode or two, we'll further discuss our opinions on, like, not limitations, but people are still human. Don't be expecting somebody to be breaking their back for you 110 times just to show you that they love you. Like, world, like, some people, like you, some people need a whole bunch of rigmarole to be proved that you love them, but don't subject yourself to that neither. But we'll get
I
into
agree.
further detail in that and later on.
Yeah, I agree. Have standards. I
Yes.
agree. We probably we'll do, like, down the road we'll do an episode on some standards. What are standards that you think people should have? Are they even necessary?
Right.
But I do think standards are a thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they allow people to have, you know better
Prepare you.
relationships. Yeah, better experiences. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, we had our questions this evening on the Love Speak Q&A. Our first question was, what does saying I love you mean to you? Tell us what you think in the live chat and let your love speak in the comments. Our second question, do you think saying I love you strengthens a relationship? Also tell us what you think. Our third question, how does hearing I love you make you feel? Let us know how it makes you feel. We respond to all the comments in the comment section. Our fourth question, are there any situations where it is more meaningful to say, I love you? Let us know. We had a few. Death, somebody sick. It's probably more meaningful just to reinforce it. Billy Badass Joe was speaking of, referred to a platonic relationship that she has with a friend who just has, been through life, been experiencing life and the difficulties in life, and, not always coming from a background where somebody says, I love you, and it reinforcing a bond, a relationship, strengthening a relationship. And then our final question was number 5. Is it more important to hear I love you or to see love in actions? Please tell us what you think in the chat and let your love speak in the comments below. We will respond to all the comments, and we appreciate everybody for pulling up this evening. We want to thank you. We had a great show this evening, and we look forward to seeing y'all next time. Go ahead and smash that like button. Give us a nice thumbs up. And something I didn't do last time, but there's never a last time. It's always a first time.
Mm-hmm.
We want everybody out there to have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week. That's something that we always say here at DBCHEFTV and the Love Speak and everywhere else, because man, peaceful, positive, and productivity is something that's going to help you get what you need, what you want, when you need it and you want it.
You ain't lying.
Make sure to check us out next week right here on the Love Speak podcast with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the baddest of the baddest, Billy Badass Joe.
Had a good time with y'all tonight.
And we're going to see y'all next time right here on the Love Speak. Peace,
Good night.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.